Hello everybody and happy Friday. I'm so glad that you are here, and we're going to have a ton of fun today with some brand new products that I'm going to share with you from Altenew. Oh my goodness, it's Friday and I could not really be more excited for the weekend. So if you are out there, please do say hello and tell me where you're from. And I will give you just a brief spiel about everything that you should find on the broadcast here. So down in the details, you will find a full listing of all of our products. And those are affiliate links, meaning that if you click on them and do a little shopping and check out, I may receive a small commission at no additional cost to you. And so that little bit of help helps to keep this channel free and to help me bringing all of this great crafty education to you. Let's see, we've got all sorts of people popping in, some of the regular gang and maybe some newbies. If you're new out there, please do say hello. I really would appreciate it. If you love today's video, click on the thumbs up. That helps to boy, I can't talk. It's Friday. That helps to let YouTube know that you like my content, and it will share it with more people, and it will make sure that I pop up in your feed a little bit more often. And it also lets me know that you like the content too. So make sure you're doing that. Go ahead and be leaving comments and questions all session long. I will be looking at them over here and answering them as we go along. And then also go ahead and click on that share button and share me out to other social media and other friends to let them know that we are doing some fun stuff live here today. If you are catching this on the replay, I'm so glad that you are. All of that stuff still applies to you, except just leave some comments down below in the comments section instead of in the live chat. All right, so today we have a second release from Altenew, and I love it when we have a second release. And this is one of my favorite kinds of releases because it is stencils, and stencils are my absolute favorite. And let's see, gotta get my chat. There we go. I didn't have my chat set up right, so I didn't see all of you popping in, but I knew you were there. So hello to everybody, Lori and Roberta, Kate, Sue. So good to see you all. All right, so let's go down to the tabletop, and I'm going to show you all of the fun stencils that we have in this new release. If you have already done the hop, then you have probably seen most of these, but we'll go through all of them. There are 9 new stencils, and they're all really, really cool. So the theme of this release was geometrics and florals. So we've got the castle motif, and this is a beautiful floral pattern. All right, and then we've got the color block triangle stencil, and I've seen some really cool things done with this one. The leaf bed stencil, the leaf drops stencil, the mighty corners. This is a very, very cool one. I really like this one a lot. The modern circles, I used this one as well. The sphere stencil, which kind of coordinates with the sphere die as well. And then we've got stripe builder stencil and the woven stencil. So those are the 9 stencils that came out today. You can get them in a bundle all together. There are also a few bundles that come with some of the ink sprays. So those are definitely things to look into. I'm going to share with you my projects, and then we'll get into some tips on how I use these stencils, and then how I did these two from one kind of creations here. All right, so I'll share with you the first duo of cards. So there you go. This is, I use the Mega series on all of these. So like Mega Greetings 1, Mega Greetings, and then Mega Greetings 3, plus all of their Mega dies. So I just kind of flip-flopped them around to create 2 different looks from one use of the stencil. So this one is the leaf drops, and they both go 2 different ways. So this one has them going this way, and this one has them going this way. All right, now you might notice with this one that there's a little bit of kind of an optical illusion. Sometimes it looks like they're getting smaller and bigger if you look at it too long. They are evenly spaced and even widths all the way down. So that is just an optical illusion. If you happen to see them going in and out like that, that's just an optical illusion. All right, so that was my first duo of cards. Let's see, let me get these in order. So there is, where's the other one? They're not stuck together. I'm missing it, guys. Oh, haha, it's on the wall. Because I love this one so much, I have it up on my wall. So here is the second one. And this is the the Mighty Corners stencil. So again, you can go this way or you can go down with it. You can come from an angle. Super, super fun with this one. All right, and I've got like this whole retro color theme going on. All right, and then the last one is the circles. And the circles are really great because you can, the modern circles, you can flip this around multiple ways to get different looks. Right, so on this one, instead of going overboard with a ton of color, on the second turn, I just outlined them with a journaling pen. All right, so those are my projects. Thank you so much, Kate. My hair has been growing out during this pandemic, and I had intended on growing it out anyway, so it just kind of worked out well. And now it's to this coif point. It's kind of like kind of a retro hairdo at the moment, but it's about all I can do with it because it's curly like crazy. This is all natural. All right, so what I wanted to show you guys today is how I did those 2-from-1. So I have a whole bunch of watercolor cardstock cut out so that we can do this. And then I'm going to be using the Autumn Festival watercolor brush markers, and Iggy is joining us. He's one of my cats. Anyway, so we're going to use the watercolor, the Autumn Festival, and that's where I got kind of this retro look from. I pulled out some of these colors to make a really fun retro combination. So we'll use those. Set those off to the side, but first I want to show you how I set these up so that they're a little sticky. Now, the problem that I have is that I'm working in a basement area where I can't really spray anything with a lot of odor to it. So I've tried Pixie Spray and I've tried other sprays, and I just can't spray them down here. Even if they are advertised as low odor, they are just too smelly and they run me out of the room. So I needed something that I could use to stick my stencils down and kind of help keep the line, because that is a key to using watercolors with stencils, is that you need to have them stuck down a little bit. So I thought, you know, let me try a couple ideas. And this idea so far has been working well for me. So this is just an old spray bottle, just a little pump spray. And this is an old bottle of Tombow mono liquid glue. Now I save these because they always have leftover in here that you can never really get out. So I will cut it open and I will use a brush to get the remainder of the glue out of here. So I had a couple of these laying around and I thought, well, let's give it a try. So I mixed them with some water and I put them in my little thing here. So basically, how did I get the water in there? Good question. There is a smush end on one side, and this little nib can actually be pulled out. I'm trying to be careful because there's water in here. So this nib can come off, and I just fill this up like about halfway with water. And then I closed it. I put the lid back on so I wouldn't spray water everywhere. And I just shake it around until I get all of that glue mixed up with the water. This is a water soluble glue, so this is an okay thing to do. And then instead of taking that little nib off again, I just kind of squeeze it in here until I get all of the watery glue out. And that's it. So now this has been cleaned and I've used all of the extra from this, which makes me so happy because I love this glue. And then I've got a slurry of super liquidy glue in my spray bottle. So I'm going to pull over my splat box. I do this in the splat box with a piece of paper toweling on the bottom to absorb the extra glue. All right, so just shake this up a little bit and generously spray my stencil. And then I set this aside to dry. All right, so once I've got that done, what I end up with is a stencil that has a moderate tack to it. So let me show you kind of how that works. So if we use the leaf drop stencil here, you can hear it's kind of sticky, right? That's because I've sprayed it. I have sprayed this a couple of times because I've used it a couple times. So now I can put it down on my watercolor card. Now you don't want this to be too sticky, because if you put it down and then you can't get it up, it's going to take the paper with it. So I find that it's sticky enough. All right, and then I'm just using my brayer to kind of help press it in place. All right, and see, look, it's not coming off. So that's good. And it shouldn't shift too much when I'm working with it. So now I can go ahead and start working on my project. So for the one that I did for my sample, I colored in each of these individually, but there's so many different ways that you could do this, right? So I'm going to actually do just a little bit of sprayed water to start with. And this is cotton candy. And I'm just going to start kind of coloring some of these in. And maybe I'm not going to do all of them. Maybe I'm just going to, and you see, look, I'm not even doing like anything neat. I'm just picking a whole bunch and kind of a randomness going on here. Maybe I should have thought about it a little bit more. Maybe I shouldn't, you know, we'll see what happens. So I'm just adding in watercolor. Right, and this is very random the way that I'm doing this right now, obviously. Need just a little bit more to come out there. Come on. There we go. And I'm not trying to be neat about it either. I want to get it on my stencil a little bit, okay? So that was the cotton candy. Now I'm going to come in with orange cream, which is a much darker, brighter color. So if I feel like that is too much, I can come in with a palette instead. There we go. And a brush. Because I want to do orange, but I don't want it to be so bright that it's just overpowering everything. So we can fix that one for sure. There we go. And so now I'll fill in a couple of these empty ones with the orange. And see, I'm just going to cover over this peach one because I decided I wanted it to be orange. That's okay. All right. So some of these colors we're definitely going to have to water down a little bit. Let's go into the mango smoothie. I think this one is pretty bright too. So again, I've got two waters here. So I've got a clean water now and now a dirty water. So I'm just going to add a few of these yellows, I think. All right, so let me wipe off my palette here. Okay, so this did stick down pretty well. I can see a few places where it got up underneath, but it didn't spread everywhere, which is really great. All right, so now I can peel that up and check out that background. This is so totally retro. Oh my gosh, is that retro? Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so I've got extra goodie on here, right? I have got all that watercolor left over on here. So I'm going to spray it with my sprayer. And I'm going to flip it down here. And there we go. I need to grab a paper towel. Actually, I will grab just another dry towel. So this is just a dry towel. So I can apply a little bit of pressure. That was the sticky side, so it stuck. All right, I'm gonna pop that in a bin for cleaning. And there you go. So now I have a positive side and a negative side, and I can chop these up and use them for some really, really awesome backgrounds. All right, totally cool. Guys, this was totally random. I picked these colors and I said, oh, we'll see what happens. I love this. It is beautiful. All right, so one down, lots more to go. We can hang out all afternoon. Let's do, does anyone have, okay, so I'm gonna pick one and then pick from, what do we have? Okay, pick from one of these two, Castle Motifs or the Leaf Bed Stencil. I'll do one of these two. And in the meantime, I will, let's try the Woven Stencil. All right, new piece of cardstock, leaf bed, leaf bed, leaf bed. Everyone's all about the leaf bed. Okay, so we're into the Woven Stencil. So again, I pre-glued all of these. Basically, I came downstairs this morning, I spritzed them all. They were dry probably within 30 minutes, but I didn't come back until this afternoon, so, but I knew they were dry. Some of them I actually did twice because they just didn't feel like they were sticky enough, but I think they're a-okay. Okay, so this is the Woven Stencil. Let's just do this in Winter Fog. I really think this is gonna look great on here. So we might need the palette. All right, just trying to give myself enough room here. There we go, okay. This might be light enough on its own. Okay, so spritz this a little bit with water, and that's just gonna help the ink to move to begin with. The thing about this one is that it is just these little lines. So trying to get in here with the color might be a little difficult. So I'm gonna go for the brush just because I probably will be able to get it across here. Whoa, much easier. So this is the kind of thing too where you could do just a little bit of it, right? You don't have to do the whole background. Maybe you just want to have a little area behind something, right? We do that a lot with embossing paste. All right. So have you guys done the hop yet? I should pop the link for the hop down in the description for anyone that's catching it later. I'll make sure that I have it there. But if you've done the hop yet, what do you if you have done the hop, what do you think of it? Did you have any favorites along the way? This is a tough one, guys. I did not do this one for my samples, so I really don't know how this is going to turn out. All right, so I'm not going to do the whole thing. Let's see what we get. Actually, something very cool. That looks really nice. So again, I've got extra on here. I'm going to spray it and flip it over and use my dry towel just to blot it in place. And there we go. So for this one, you end up getting the insides filled a little bit. And then this one, it's just the little grids. I like them both. And this was, the color is Winter Fog, so it is a little bit kind of a brownish gray. It's really, really pretty. All right, that's the second one. All right, looks like a resounding desire to do the leaves over the Castle Motif. So Castle Motif will set you aside. All right, so while I am getting that ready, do you want to see modern circles or the color block? This one is not dry yet. I really, really inked that up. Let's see. Here's the other option. Sphere stencil or a stripe builder. All right, next one to pick from. All right, into the leaf bed. I think we're gonna have to do this one in some shades of green. Maybe I'll add some purple in there. Not purple and green together, I don't think. All right, I've got a little situation going on over here. There we go. See, I think I sprayed this one only once. It's sticky, but it doesn't really want to stick to the paper. So this one might need to be sprayed again. I'll just be really gentle with it. We'll see if we can keep it down good enough. No, it's not going to stick. Well, let's give it a go anyway. All right, so this is just green. Oh, here, I know what we'll do. And we'll do yellow ochre. I would add in the purple if I had time to let this dry. All right, so here comes the green. Yep, this one definitely needs needs some more glue on it. See how that just went right underneath? That's okay. All right, I hope you guys had or are having a really good Friday. Do you have plans this weekend to do some crafting, I hope? All right, so let's add in some yellow. This is kind of a brownish yellow. Now this I'm not afraid to mix up into the other green because we'll get kind of an olivey green. All right, and then where'd it go? So now we've got olivey kind of green, and then we need to add in more of a yellow. Brownish yellow. So you see how it's going underneath the stencil? This is what happens when you don't have any kind of adhesive on the back side to help seal those edges, all right? Or not enough adhesive to seal the edges. All right, let's see what we got. It's still gonna look awesome though. Sweet, very cool. And again, look at all that yumminess on here. Let's see, birthday cards, pen pal stuff. Hi, Teresa. I'm working on smile cards for your convalescent home. You guys are awesome. I'm glad you have your crafty projects planned for the weekend. Very good. All right, so That was the watercolored side. This is the spritzed and smushed side. If you add more water to it, so like there's still ink on here. If I add more water to this and try to plop this down again, which I can do. There we go. It will spread that ink a little bit more. All right, and you'll get a more clear image. If you add too much water, it will just wash it out completely. There we go. Oh, I just sprayed myself with watercolor. Okay, so see how I added a little bit more water and we got a more clear image? They're usually not too hard to line up as long as you knew approximately where you had it to begin with. All right, so that is another one. Sphere, we want to do the sphere. Okay, because you already saw me do the other one. Well, it was in my project, so you kind of get the idea. Well, oh, no, we didn't do the stripe one. That's all right, no stripes, sphere. Sphere is going to be interesting. So this one I made sure to glue up really good. Okay. These little bits in the center were hard to get glue on to get it to stick down. I think that would happen with just about any spray though. There's still going to be a little bit of shifting there. So I'm going to turn it 90 degrees here. Let's do ultramarine and ultraviolet so we can have a little blue and purple fun here. The ultramarine is definitely a lighter blue. Oops. And the purple can get really intense. Let me grab this little splooge here. Okay. All right, this one's a quick one. Into the purple. Okay. There you go. That is really cool looking. Oh, this is going to be awesome. So water that up. Flip it over. Roberta, I missed what you... Oh, I get what you were saying. So you were telling Kate that it's really easy to do something for a local home. Yeah, absolutely. So I have a local home here in Plattsmouth where I live, and we happen to do some website work for one of the people that works there. And I said, hey, I make cards. I have tons extra. Would your staff and your residents be interested in them, especially because they're all still quarantined right now? And they were so excited for the idea that they jumped on it, and I just sent them a whole box of cards. It was fantastic. So it's a really great way to help spread the love with that for sure. All right, so here's our two looks. We have, this is the stenciled one, and this is the leftover from the stencil. They're both pretty cool, right? All right. Okay, so how do I store them? Good question. Let me wipe this off real quick and I will show you. Okay, so like this Modern Stencils one, this is how I store them. I have these little plastic envelopes. They have a flap on the top, but I always chop them off because they're just getting in the way. So I use these for my stamp storage as well, and then I use them for my stencils. And I keep the packaging with them. So my packaging is all closed up and it's in the original hanging plastic. And then this just sticks right to it. All right, so they will clean up a little bit with soap and water, but you're never going to get all of the tackiness off of it. So I figure, why bother? I'll just rinse them off, dry them, and then I don't bother trying to scrub them with a lot of soap and water and a scrubby or anything, because I'm never going to get all of the glue off. I figure that's just leaving a little bit of extra for next time, right? And then maybe I won't have to spray it. And then it just sticks right on here. It doesn't stick permanently because the properties of this mono glue is that if you let it dry first, that it is a removable bond. Okay, so I can just leave them stuck right on there, and I put them back in my little package and they all go in a bin together. That's how I do them. Okay, so color block, are you dry? It's still a little tacky. We might do that one last, if at all. Okay, so then I've got, let's see, we did leaf drop already. Mighty Corners and Modern Circles. So I'll do both of these because they're too fun. This one I think by far was my favorite. And this is another one where these guys really needed to have a lot of glue stuck to them because they like to pop up. All right, so for this one, when I did the card for this one, and I'll show you how I did that, I just picked out one, two, three, four, five, six. I needed 6 colors. So I did like green, blue, purple, and then like yellow, orange, something along those lines. I could do something more like a rainbow color order kind of thing. That'll work. So I spritz this with a little bit of water and then just colored in, making sure that I was a little messy with it. So that way I was able to use the smush side as well. All right. So we know green is super strong. It's easier to manage this one with a brush and water. Right. And then a yellow. And this orange is crazy loud as well. So I'll just put a little on here and spread that out. Oops, I got some contamination here, guys. Now it's more of an orange brown, but that's right. I think it got into the green a little bit. All right, I'm glad you guys are having good weather in San Francisco. That whole part of the world needs it, don't you? All right, carefully pull it up. So I have a little bit more of a rainbow look on this one. And then I will spritz. and pop it over here. There we go. So you can do a rainbow look with the fall watercolors. All right, guys, one more to go because I don't think our triangles, see, they're still wet. I don't want to put them down because then they will stick to the paper and that will just be a total mess. So this definitely needs just a little more time to dry. All right, so we'll do modern circles then. And this is the kind of cool one because I will show you how you can flip it around. All right, so let's do a little monochrome with this one. All right, so I did all the ones going one way in one color, and then the ones going up and down. Doing pink this time. All right, so pull this one off and see what we got. Okay, so far so good. So I'm going to spray this and put it down. This is going to be, that's super light. That's all right. Okay, but I'm going to wipe this off. And this is the way it was. So I'm going to turn it 180 degrees. And now I've got space for some other colors. Or I can do, this is just a journaling pen. All right, so a little bit of that and one more color. Do something funky. This is Sea Forest. You do not have this in any other color. It is just in the markers. Oops. So the good thing about doing this in a larger size than I truly need it is that I can chop off any mistakes. So like I colored in one that I used a pen on and I might not want to use that later. So I can chop that side off. All right, so there we go. Let's see what we got. So if you've noticed, I have not been neat about any of this. I've just been kind of going with reckless abandon, right? So you don't have to take your time with it. Of course, if you go a little faster, you're going to get a little messier. But that's okay. I don't know that I can really line this up because I can't really see what I had underneath here. It's probably not really worth it, but we'll see what we get. And yeah, Kate, absolutely. That's okay. You could do doodles in these little half circles. So if you wanted to do something a little more, you could do, you know, little stripes or Zentangle. Color them in. You know, do all sorts of neat things like that. All right. You could also like do some tangling on the outside too if you wanted to. But yeah, I think the green looks really cool. So that is a C-Force, that's the name of the color. All right, and then even just that little bit of green on here made that look really cool too. So this would be kind of nice to come back and put the stencil down and then do just a few of these little outlines to help the shape really come to life. But there you go. So we spent a little bit of time together and look at all of the backgrounds I have. Oh my goodness. So you might see these in some upcoming projects, right? Check these out. I'm going to back up the video here a little bit so you can see these all a little better. All right, so we learned a little trick about how to use some of our Tombow glue, our leftovers, to make some adhesive spray, which is super fun. And then we did all sorts of great backgrounds. Ta-da! There you go, guys. I got tons of backgrounds now to make awesome projects from. So that was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was 3/4 of the stencils from this latest release. I hope you enjoyed getting a peek into them and seeing a little bit more about how you can use them in one of my favorite ways. This is one of my favorite ways to do stenciling, is to stencil and then use the leftover and smush it onto some watercolor paper. You never know what you're going to get, and it's always just absolutely beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoyed that and it inspires you. If it did, I'd love to see what you create. So don't forget to tag me out on social media. You can find me out there everywhere at Pixel Maven's Retreat. And that's all I've got for today. So thank you so much for joining me for this latest release day live. And I don't have any more release day lives until next month. So I will be back with some more of these next month. And of course, I'll be back on Thursday for our regularly scheduled Running with Scissors, where we'll be finishing up our last week with My Favorite Things Catacorn stamp set. So thank you so much for joining me, guys, and have a great weekend. Have a crafty weekend, and I will see you next week with Running with Scissors. Bye.